Okay guys, what we're going to do here is kind of figure out some of the mystery around A&N tuning, or I'm going to explain some of the mystery around A&N tuning on the Dodge platform. This applies to all the HEMIs, even the Pentastar 3.6, but today I'm going to reference a 2016 Dodge Challenger Hellcat if you're doing any A&N tuning. So if you have VVT active and you're going to be doing A&N tuning, you'll have your file here. I've got one open. This is a 2016 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. You'll come up here to your Edit tab and you'll see VE Neural Network Trainer. So this is where you will set everything up to download the file. You will create a new file for training, and once you get that done, it's going to prompt you with this. Do you want to create a new file? And you want to make sure all your parameters in your airflow, go to the airflow tab. You're going to go to neural network. All your training values, all these need to be correct. So if you're going to be running out to 7,000 RPMs, obviously you're going to change it to 7,000. VE max, you know, if you're under a lot of boost or something, 150% max. Make sure your training values are updated. Now this is on the number of neurons 8. When you get into the newer Hellcats, they'll have the 11 neuron network, but I've already got one open here that is trained that we can see in a VE. Now what you need to pay attention to when you're training A&N or tuning A&N is your breakpoints. So in a HEMI, it's a little bit easier. You're going to be tuning 5 different maps for any given VVT breakpoint in these cars. So the magic number here is, well, probably 241. We're going to add these together, but how do we come up with 241? So most HEMI usually runs advanced. At startup, pull up your calculator and you'll go to your ends of your tables and you're going to calculate that total degree. So it's usually going to be like 241 in a HEMI. So that was 134 plus 107. So 241 is going to be our magic number. So anytime we change a breakpoint, meaning we're going down, because the HEMI only references the exhaust cam side, so it retards. It starts advanced, and you'll see this if you log exhaust cam angle. As you lay into it, you know, give it throttle, it will retard and go down like this. So when the exhaust is advanced, the intake, we don't have a separate intake cam. The intake cam is retard. So as you retard, the intake side will advance, and that will be your new map right there for your breakpoint that you'll be tuning. So when you do A&N, you have to set up your histograms to catch these breakpoints to make sure you're logging the right data and you're plugging the right data into your tune. So for instance, like 134, 107, that's what we got here. That's what we're tuning for. That is this map here. And then our next breakpoint is going to be 124, 116.25. Your next map, you'll move down because we're retarding the timing, but advancing the intake. So this is your new map here. That's your second map, and so on and so forth. So how do you set up the breakpoints? So let me go ahead and open this up and we'll see if I can go ahead and show you what's going on here. So let's see. We'll start with a 134 if I can get stable here. So this is the variable. You'll have to plug in variables to catch these breakpoints. So this is exhaust cam angle greater than 124.75. Well, why are we doing that? So if the car starts advanced, we're at 134 degrees of cam timing. We want to log everything in that advanced section before our next breakpoint. So our next breakpoint down would be 124.75. So your 134, 107 A&N map will be exhaust cam angle greater than your lowest breakpoint, 124.75. And then we'll go to our next one down here, 124.75 and 116.25. So we'll change over here. We're going to log our breakpoint. So we're here, so we want to catch 124.75. So our next breakpoint up will be 134. Our next breakpoint down will be 115.5. So we have to log in between that. So our 124.75 over here in our histogram, we're going to log everything that is above 115.5 or greater than 115.5, but less than 133. So that way we're getting all that good data for that map there. And so on down. 115.5 map, we're going to catch everything. Let's go over here to our 115.5 map. So we want to catch everything from 115.5. Our next breakpoint down is 106.25. And our next breakpoint up is 124.75. So we want to log everything greater than 106, but less than 124. You're going to do the same thing here for this A&N map. We're going to be greater than 106, but less than 124. So I know it's like muddy water, but that's essentially how you're going to be tuning these HEMIs. Those are the 5 maps, and they're going to be different cam angles versus like the 5.7 to 6.4. I think the Scat Pack stuff is going to be relatively close to the Hellcat stuff. You're still going to have the base degree 241. I think a 5.7 HEMI is going to be like 228. So that's going to be your number for your maps matching intake and exhaust, and you'll have to set those histograms up with your breakpoints above and below for the one that you're tuning for. But it's only going to be 5 maps. I know it looks like gibberish and it's a little bit complicated, but once you do it a few times, it'll start making sense, and you'll be able to affect that A&N map and get that A&N map tuned, because A&N is essentially the best model as far as airflow and fuel for these cars. Yes, you can do speed density, but it just, it doesn't compare to A&N as far as VVT being in the mix. So if you still have VVT active, that's one thing you want to pay attention to is A&N and properly tuning the A&N side. And I'm not talking about just messing with the injector data. Don't do that.